BookTube, it's Louise, the big head bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day. Wherever it is you are and whatever it is you're doing. Welcome to Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads. It's Friday the 15th. It's Friday Reads. Hello, BookTube. It's Friday the 15th of March. So, I record every week, and one of the reasons that I choose to record in this format is because it is natural and authentic, and it's who I am, and you get to see me week by week and you get to hear what I've been thinking about and doing about, and it isn't particularly thought about ahead. Can you tell? Yes. And it's very much as I am on the day, and I might think, oh, I'll mention that in Friday Reads. But other than that, it's very much what I kind of feel today. And I always strive for it to be light-hearted and just a little bit of 10 minutes of kind of upbeat energy that you may choose to watch, and it's wonderful that so many people do and comment and what have you. Anyway, I woke up this morning to the news about the Christchurch shootings, the gunman that went into maybe more than one gunman that went into the mosques in Christchurch in New Zealand and shot. And at the moment, the total is 49 people have died. But there are lots who are critically injured or in hospitals and this kind of stuff. And it's really affected me today. It's really caught me. It's made me think about the people that went to those places of worship, to be with their community, the people that they see as family, with their family, their blood families, but also their kind of spiritual families, and that they were with their community, and somebody came in and destroyed everybody's lives. The communities will, the whole of Christchurch are going to struggle to get through this. And listening to the news this morning, you can hear in people's voices and you can see in their eyes when you watch the news how devastated, even those people that weren't individually affected, how much has affected them. And it's made me think about all the other times that we have heard recently of people going into places of presumed safety, such as, churches in America, and it's just caught me this morning, and it's reminded me of a time where my father and I were in India, in South India, and we went to the most beautiful Hindu temple. I mean, it's just beautiful, and that had been a scene of a massacre, and the energy in the place was that you could still feel it, even though it had happened so many years earlier. You could still feel it. It was still there, and it just has really caught me this morning. And I've been sending prayers and love and bright energy and just feeling very impotent today about it. And I thought, oh, well, kind of get yourself ready for doing Friday Reads. And I just thought, I can't today. I can't do the jolly and the light today. Although, I am naturally quite a jolly person. It just has really caught me today. So it's going to be quite straight today. So I would say what I've read this week, because that's what I do in Friday Reads. I finished Jacqueline Winspear's A Lesson in Secrets, which is number... Now, I realised I haven't read Among the Mad in the list of books. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't read Among the Mad, although I haven't missed reading it. So whether or not I'll go back to it and get it along the way, I don't know. And a new one of hers is coming out very soon. So that's really good. So I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It was set partly in Cambridge, partly in London. I liked the way that we're following with her and what's happening in the country. And so it's still heavily dominated by what's happened in the First World War and how much that impacted the country, but it's also starting to look to the future, and you get the feeling of the rise of fascism and extremism, and how that was beginning to dominate. People beginning to kind of worry about the threat ahead. So that was very good. There is a relationship that she's having with a chap called James, and I don't think it's very believable. I don't think it's a believable relationship. I do know what happens to it because I've actually read the next book. The first Jacqueline Winspear I ever read was Eulogy for Eddie, and I read it, and it's the first one I read, and everybody said, no, go back to the beginning, and I'm so glad I did. So I do know what happens in the relationship, and it's not a successful relationship. It's the only part of the book that I didn't think was particularly successful. You either like Jacqueline Winspear's writings or you don't. You either like her coolness or you don't. I happen to like it, but I do think the thing that lets her down is when she's trying to talk about love interests. It just doesn't ring true. You don't get a feeling of it. Maisie is too cool, and I read a review of it, and then somebody said, "Oh my god, I didn't realise that she was alluding to the fact that the partner they were having of the sex," and I thought, yes, it is so not spoken about. It's so kind of kept to one side, and like, oh, and yet we're supposed to think that we're supposed to believe that Maisie was being passionate and everything like that, and it just isn't. It doesn't ring true to me. But I love everything else, and I love the cover of this book, as I think I've mentioned. I struggled to actually pick up something after that. I started one or two books and it didn't fly for me. So in the end, I picked up this, which is Ian Fleming's The Man with the Golden Gun. So this is I want to say 13th James Bond. Let me just have a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I was right. And then the next one that comes out is Octopussy and the Living Daylights, and I think they may be short stories. I don't think they are. I think this is the last full-length novel that Ian Fleming wrote. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't think this is a finished draft. I think he wrote the first draft and then passed away because he had a heart attack and passed away. He was young. He was only 64. I didn't realise quite how young he was. No, he was 56. It was in 64. He was only 56. So it's not the most convincing one, I have to say. I was halfway through it and I thought, I don't know why I'm not connecting to this, considering how much I like Ian Fleming's writing and how much I like it. There were bits of it that were good. So there were certain chapters that flew, and then other bits I felt were not, it just didn't work for me for various reasons. And when I found out that actually he only wrote the first draft, I thought, you can tell that actually there are bits that would have worked and other bits that didn't work. So it was a hit and miss for me. I marked it as middle of the road for it. I'm glad I've read it. It's so different than the film. But as are a lot of the books, actually, when you come to read them. But it was worth it, and I'm glad I've read it. It was a slim little novel, and it was a good one to tick off the list. But so that's it. I finished that this morning, so I haven't got anything else. I haven't got anything else to read at the moment, so I shall pick up something later today. And I might pick up something frivolous. Either I'm going to go for... I reckon it could be a reread. It could be a reread today. A bit of comfort, I think, is what I'm searching for. I think I have had people that are subscribers that have commented in the past, and I know they are New Zealanders, and so if there is anybody, and you're not going to be watching today, I know you're not, but if you see this in the future, know that and those other places that have been affected by this time. It's been a tricky week as well because we've been having lots of meaningful votes in Brexit. And the husband and I have been watching it, been watching the live coverage of it and all the discussions. It's a very good podcast. I don't know if you can get it outside of the UK, but in the UK it's on BBC Sounds, or it is on the the iTunes, if you've got a fruit-based device. It is on the iTunes podcast, and it's called Brexitcast. And they've been releasing. They are just such a good podcast for really explaining what's happening and all the kind of ins and outs of it, but doing it in a way that is so engaging and that you can just, that they're utterly serious. They are utterly, kind of in-depth and experts about what they're talking about, and there's 4 of them, and they all come from slightly different kind of views, well, not views, but they all have slightly different layers of expertise, yet all of them mesh so well together, and I really enjoy it. And it's been really good to listen to that this week, to make sense of all the political shenanigans that have been going on and still continue to go on. So whether or not it's just been a layering of things this week, I don't know. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do for Friday Read today. I'm sorry I haven't got all the normal updates. I have been thinking about bringing back the parish notices, because I've had 1 or 2 people say, yes, bring them back. My parish news that I used to do. And I have been thinking about and looking and reading and seeing what's happening in the parish that I can talk to you about. And of course, there's laundry. It's a no laundry day today, because we've got grey clouds. So yes, that's it, friends. I hope you're well. I send my love out to you, and yeah, let's do this again, hey? Hope for better times next week. This has been Lovely BookTube, and I'll see you next week.